With Jesse Simonton, BrentHubbsVolQuest.com. Jeremy Pruitt meeting the media today, recapping some of the Georgia State stuff, and then a little bit of talk about BYU. Very little talk about BYU, a lot more bigger picture stuff. Jesse, I think what jumps out to me is he seems very comfortable with what they had in place to go into the game, and when he watched the tape in terms of some of their management type stuff, he seems very comfortable with everything, citing a lack of execution and turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of another strange press conference, honestly. I mean, again, he's been very measured in all of his comments, and he talked about being disappointed. He knows that the fans are disappointed, and he said multiple times, it's up to us, being the team and the staff, to look in the mirror. But then when he was asked specifics about game plan, about in-game adjustments, schematics, it was all very vague, or that he thought that, I thought we did it. I thought we had a simple game plan. I thought the guys were mostly aligned, and he kind of did the old, trite coaching thing that 10 guys did it right and one guy did it wrong. There was a lot of plays that it did not look like that when you watch it on film.
Yeah, he talked a lot about third down, not getting off the field on third down. Part of the reason was they gave up so much on first down, too, that was problematic for this defense. Let's jump to the offensive line. It's been certainly talked about a lot. He did mention three guys that jumped out at him, or he praised three guys who probably played the best. Brandon Kennedy at center, and then the freshman Darnell Wright, and then Jameer Johnson, who's sort of been in the doghouse all fall camp, is a guy you noted in your review piece, and a guy Jeremy Pruitt noted as one of his three best on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him as one of my top five guys who stood out. I mean, I thought Jameer was their best offensive lineman. It is kind of funny because AP had reported, and correctly so, last week Jameer got pulled from practice because he was underweight, and they were mad at him, and yet he performed the best, and he was probably Tennessee's most consistent offensive lineman a year ago. So whether he's playing left guard, left tackle, it seems like he needs to be in that first five. And then Darnell Wright, I thought, was really impressive for his first college game. He's going to make mistakes, but he was not afraid, to really put his nose in there as a pass protector. That was an area that, he didn't have a lot of experience at Huntington, but I thought he looked pretty solid on Saturday.
Jerry Garantano, Coach Pruitt, saying strung together some good plays, noted that he left some plays out on the field, did note in the 2-minute drill at the end that maybe didn't work the right side of the field, and watching that, certainly there were some opportunities for a couple of different times to have a touchdown there. What does Tennessee need out of Jared moving into this week?
Well, I mean, if the coaches love the word consistency, it's got to be something around. I mean, Jared was not good on Saturday, and he had his own hand in multiple turnovers. He also missed some opportunities for touchdowns, whether it was down in the red area where you had Jawan Jennings wide open on a play, on the 3rd and 3 that he ends up just immediately throwing the ball to Austin Pope. Marquez Callaway was wide open on a little hook route. There was that, he had a couple sacks. Even Pruitt alluded to it today. 2 of those 4 sacks were on him. So if Tennessee's going to turn this thing around, they need their veteran quarterback to be better. My last thought from this, kind of ending with Jarrett too, Pruitt was asked very bluntly, who are the player leaders on this team? And he made an interesting comment where he basically kind of, I thought, played both sides of it. And he said, well, I'm not worried about player leadership. We have guys that, are there before practice or there after the game. But then he said, we need some guys to step up when the bullets are flying. But then immediately after that statement, he said it wasn't because of player leadership or effort that we lost this game on Saturday. It was just interesting kind of closing comments for that press conference, I thought.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You can see that in press conference in its entirety on the site. Also, one other quick note, Jordan Murphy did not dress on Saturday. Coach Pruitt said he's been sick, dealing with some illness. They've run some tests on him. Expects him to be back out on the practice field this week. That's going to do it for this edition of the 2-Minute Drill. For Jesse Simonton, I'm Brent Hubbs.